Let's go ahead and get into our key takeaways here as we react to the Broncos and the Raiders game. And, Ben, we'll go ahead and start with your play first because your play kind of set a little bit of the tone for the game.
Well, there were several plays here I thought that were not what I would call great right off the bat. Let's go ahead and get to the call real quick, and then we'll break it down after.
Daniel Carlson has it teed up at the 35. Denver will move left to right, underneath it at the 2, and brought out. And now reversing field and running all the way back to the 5-yard line is Deontay Spencer. That is a horrible way to start the game. And a mistake there that you just can't make. And a flag on the play.
Yeah, it was. We've seen special teams errors, mental errors, lapses, time and time again. Bringing that ball out was a mistake. Bringing the ball out and then deciding to go side to side on a kick return is a no-no. I mean, these are all one-on-one level things. And Deontay Spencer's better than this. He was an absolute stud in the CFL as a returner. It's not like he doesn't know how to return and the rules of returning. It feels like he's trying to go out there and win his job, a job he's already won week after week. It's weird to watch because the Broncos kept him around solely for special teams. He's not really much of a factor in terms of being a receiver or anything else. They brought him around specifically and kept him around specifically to be a returner, and he's still making mental mistakes like that. That's the wrong answer. You can't have that happen. Don't return that ball if it's at that point. If you are going to return it, make sure that you get north and south quick as possible. One cut, that's it. It's kick return. This is simple.
Well, and again, you put yourself in a bad spot right off the bat. You know that the percentages of converting that, moving down the field into scoring position, go down substantially for your team. And again, multiple times in this game, you had that moment. You had Devontae Harris getting blocked into Deontay Spencer was another special teams mistake.
Blunder
early on. Put the ball again inside the 10. You had three drives for the offense in the first half that ended up starting inside your own 10-yard line. I mean, you're on the road, you're at home. It doesn't really matter. That's a bad deal. And the Broncos were able, out of one of those drives, to put together a 9-play drive, and we're going to talk about that here in just a second. But otherwise, like I said, you just know that your percentages of any kind of positive momentum out of that are going to be a problem.
Yeah, they need to have an honest conversation at the end of the year about special teams. Why are they not getting better? Is it the players? And if it's not the players, then you need to have a serious conversation about that coach and find someone who will make them better.
All right, so I'm going to go to the first Drew Lock interception, and it's kind of along the lines of what we were just sort of talking about that post-drag route on the left side. You have KJ Hamler running basically a clear out with the post, and I don't even know if he was necessarily intending to get the ball. I think this was really designed to be Tim Patrick's. But Drew Lock decided to throw it high and to throw it in a place that was going to be difficult for KJ really, either way to come down with it. There were 3 guys around him at the time. So I'm going to play the highlight, and then we can sort of break it down.
Raiders rush 4. Good protection. Lock loads it up. Ball in the middle of the field will be intercepted. Intercepted at the 35-yard line to midfield, 45-40 in Denver territory, and forced out of bounds. That's Jeff Heath. Jeff Heath for the Raiders with the interception on a ball that was thrown too high to a receiver that was covered, and this will put Oakland in very good field position with 1:20 left in this first quarter, and ahead 7-3.
Now, it was 3rd and 14, so you had to make a play that was deeper in the field, right, than you would more logically like to. But at the same time, and Tim Patrick kind of ran into the corner a little bit. Like when he came across on the drag, he kind of ran into his guy a little bit. Yeah, on the dig. I'm sorry, I didn't drag. Yeah. So the dig route, he kind of ran into his guy a little bit. I don't know if that had any kind of factor in Drew Lock's decision there.
The ball was already gone by the time he came uncovered on that route. I think he just should have been more patient, had a little bit more faith in his O-line, but I don't blame him for not, because the offensive line has let him down time and time again. There were 3 guys around the ball at the time that it was intercepted, but the reality was when he threw it, that's the way the zone is. You try to throw it so that you're timing it out at the soft spot of the seam. You had the low corner that moved back. You had the safety right there, and then the other safety that came over. So there were 3 guys around it. If Drew had thrown that ball a little lower, it probably would have been a KJ Hamler reception, but that probably was not. That's the right read against middle of the field open, but that probably wasn't the right throw if you just had patience for maybe another tick and then waited for the dig to come uncovered.
But that was kind of indicative of several of the interceptions, really, of the mistakes that happened in the game, whereas if he had a little bit better ball placement, maybe threw the ball just a little bit earlier.
Or right read, wrong throw.
Or the right read, exactly. Then you have a different outcome. But unfortunately, he's either throwing it late or he's throwing it with bad placement, and the result, of course, is an interception. All right, you're next.
Yeah, this is okay. So we've been back and forth on this one. This is the play that absolutely baffled me at the time, baffled a lot of people, and Vic Fangio addressed it in the presser today, saying that the people upstairs had told him they didn't think it was going to be overturned. He was well short. That spot was horrendous. Let's go ahead and hit this play. It's 4th and 1. The Broncos stop Josh Jacobs on 4th and 1. Now, they spot the ball as a first down, but there's a penalty on the play for holding, so it sets it back 10 yards. Instead of challenging, and I would have asked for a spot if I'm Fangio, give me time to review the plays and then challenge it if we thought we could have, and then turn around. If we challenge it, we take over right there. We don't have to do a punt. Instead, they do the punt, and it goes disastrous. Let's listen to the play call.
2 tight ends in the game, 2 backs. They hand it off. Jacobs running hard. Jacobs is hit. Penalty flag thrown. DeMarcus Walker was the first one there for the Broncos. But let's see what the flag is about. We haven't seen the spot. The Broncos think the spot will be short. The Raiders obviously think it isn't.
Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
So that must have been, they must have spotted that for a first down. Because otherwise, why would you not decline the penalty?
Yeah, that was baffling to everybody involved. The spot was terrible. You should have challenged the spot. Worst case scenario, you get the spot on there, you challenge it, you lose the spot. Well, then you just have them punt it anyway. So you might as well have taken the shot. You could have saved yourself 40 yards, and you know, it's just, anyway. It was one of those situations that you know, Vic Fangio, I think, is a good coach, but there are moments where he makes mistakes, and that was one of them.
Yeah, and even in I'm looking up on the official play-by of here, the play-by of everything, and they even listed it at 4th and 1, and that they did not convert, and then they accepted the holding penalty and put it back 4th and 11.
Mistake.
So yeah, it ended up being a mistake. At that point, he said today Vic Fangio was asked about it and basically said that, well, we asked about it upstairs. They said it was inconsequential as far as whether they could definitively tell that something had happened there, that he did convert or did not. I thought, based on what we just saw from the naked eye, that it did not look like he got there.
All Vic had to do was buy more time, was ask for a measurement. That's all you got to do to buy more time to review that upstairs. So that, to me, that was a coaching mistake. They said we don't criticize on this show. Well, they're wrong. I will absolutely, when something is wrong, I will criticize.
Well, and then, of course, I mean, the difference there, you get pinned at your own 2.
Right.
Versus getting the ball at the
midfield.
30.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was just absolutely absurd not to take that measurement and go ahead and do the challenge.